Yep. Hey.
We're there, Charles. We
Yep.
are live. We
Good
are
evening,
live.
everybody. Good evening. Yep.
Oh, we went live quick tonight. Well, jeez. Wow, that was quick. Never even wait no time. It's kind of interesting. This sometimes it's like blistering fast, and sometimes it's slow.
Yep.
Anyway, how was your day, my friend? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday.
Just today was really meant to make a message for our kupunas. Exercise since everybody's staying at home. There's all kind of activity going on Maui, I guess. There's gonna be a bar closure. I think it's starting from Saturday, from what I understand, for 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks, man.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
but I mean, if you have a bar that has a kitchen, you can stay open. It's funny. They're saying just as long nobody sits by the bar. I mean, what if you get on Lanai area? I mean, come on. You know, I and that's what I was saying earlier. They just kind of missing the point there. So to each his own. Whatever
Yes.
they decide.
Again, you're right, man. They're just missing the boat. The bottom line is they're finding a lot of clusters on Maui that's
Mhm.
happening from bars. We talked about this so many times about what happens in bars. You have a little bit of alcohol, your inhibitions get lower. You start not paying attention. They also see clusters coming out of gyms now. They had an asymptomatic uh, person and went on to teach a class, and now they got a cluster over there. So is that going to be next? I mean, you know, and then I watched the news tonight, and Mayor Caldwell is begging Honolulu to stay at 35 cases or less a day for the next 7 days, so we can get to tier three or whatever their tier number is. I mean, the whole focus is not about health and safety. It's you should be saying, everybody, let's get the numbers down so nobody dies, so we don't have any more deaths, so we don't have any more illness. But the priority is not about that. The priority is always about opening up. Open is for what? What do you think will happen, Charlie? Okay, let's say Honolulu gets below 50.
I don't think they grasp the thought that to be positive, to put a positive spin on this whole thing. Why don't they say, come on, let's get down to zero?
Yeah,
Why settle
yeah,
for 35? Because if you hit that threshold and you can't get any lower than 35, that means you're always getting cases. And that's what
yeah,
you don't want to get. You don't want to
exactly.
get
And
cases.
and
And
that's the thing. I mean, so what? What is that? Is that the trophy? Your outgoing trophy that you were able to get Honolulu to tier three? uh you guys know watch out, you guys going back to tier one. I mean, what's the is 35 okay? I think that's the point you're trying to make, Charlie. Is 35 okay a day? Now this is a day.
you
They had
know,
80, I think, today. They had 80. I mean,
you
it's
remember
not slowing down.
when we asked what is the trigger?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is establishing on trigger. I mean, we're trying very darn hard on Kauai, but really, Big Island, Maui, Oahu, nobody's establishing a trigger to say not where you would be comfortable at, but what would it take to curb the spread? You remember when we said we got to curb the flatten the curve?
Mm-hmm.
We did such a bang up job. What happened? Our numbers went zero.
Mm-hmm.
We can say that because Kauai actually attained zero. What happened to that behavior? What happened to that ability for us to flatten the curve? Will it take us, you and I, playing flat music again and
Oh
bumping
God,
everybody's eardrums?
maybe that was the real secret. Maybe we should go blast it in Honolulu radio stations and get those guys to. I never thought of that, Charlie. Everybody else taking credit, but I think it was you and me in that song.
Yeah, flatten the curve. And there's some people ask, what is the song you guys sing? I says, I don't know, but when I get the answer to it, I'll let you know.
It's called the Advil song. The Advil song. One dose of that, you need Advil, man. I tell you.
Yeah,
No, but again, and again, the leadership.
yeah.
Tired of mentioning names already, but the leadership is saying, "Oh, we made it past the Thanksgiving surge." Well, we heard from the infectious disease specialist last night, Dr. DeWorkin, that it's not
Oh,
over
good
yet.
show.
We,
Good show.
we're still in the
Good.
middle. We're still in the middle of that, and we haven't seen that yet. And then we still. That's why I don't. And again, Kirk Caldwell has been a friend of mine for a very long time, and I'm not disrespecting him. I'm disagreeing with him because what happens? You're gonna go to tier three, right? He wants to do it before Christmas.
Hmm.
So we can increase the gathering sizes. We can increase the number of people that show up in bars and restaurants. What do you think, Charlie?
Well,
Will
first of all,
happen once we do that?
you had addressed this issue before. This virus has no idea of time, place, sex, height, weight, nothing. It doesn't.
Mhm,
So that's why I think it's backwards thinking when you're trying to shoot for a date. I says you can't.
mhm.
You gotta go and see if you're doing an effective job in streamlining and squishing that infectious rate to a manageable size, and you're not doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost predictable, right? Monday, Tuesday, we know it's from Saturday, Sunday, right? So we
Mhm.
said, okay, numbers gonna be less. We joked about it. What happened? Numbers is low. When you come Wednesday, they're gonna pick up Monday. Boom, the thing. So why is it that now Monday, for some reason, numbers jump back up? Well, they say, well, they're testing more or they're reading more tests. I said, okay, if we're reading more tests, then the question should be, where are we getting the samples from? Where are we taking it from? Was this during a surveillance test? Was this during a surge test? Was this in a hospital because people reported in sick? So you started to draw blood, take samples from people. Where did it come from? Nobody is giving us that answer where it's coming from. All we know is by Wednesday, it's like a warranty. It's like a 3-year warranty. No worry, guys. Monday, Tuesday gonna be low. Wednesday, I guarantee you, the bug gonna spike again. And sure enough, so people ask me, Uncle Charlie, how you know all this stuff? I says, I don't know. I just know there's a pattern. There's a definite pattern being displayed. So now, if you was to investigate it, you got to go inside and dig. Why is this pattern always occurring? Where are we getting the samples from? Are we seeing these spikes because it's coming from Wahiwa, Kalihi, right? Moiliili? Nobody knows. I can't even say if it was because a group of them turned up in the ER, wasn't feeling too good, so they did a test just to process of elimination, and bingo, they tested positive. Maybe that's it. But when you go around and you start speculating a lot, it gets really annoying. One, it puts people probably in a heightened state of alert for nothing. Three, it's probably ruining everybody's dinner right now, and you want them to be, we approaching the holiday season, but we want it to be a safe holiday. And yet, you're right. The mayor seems like he wants to bring it down. So just for that short period of time, he can pop the cork on that champagne bottle and celebrate. And the attitude is, well, if the numbers spike again, we'll deal with it when we see it.
It's you know, he, uh, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize. Okay, so if they go up to the next level, they can go from 5 people in a gathering to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Now that, as we know, will trigger more cases. I mean, we'll do it.
Right.
So is it worth? So you can say that you were able to, and he made it very clear. It's up to the residents. He nothing about visitors again. It's never about the visitor. Yes, the residents need to take care, but we know that when a visitor comes in, he may come in contact with a few people on the island. at the restaurant maybe. But when the local residents come back or when we get family gatherings, that's where people get close and intimate. And that is the problem.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. Is it, like I said, is it just a trophy that you can leave your mayorship saying that you was able to take the county to tier three? And regardless of what the aftermath will be, because you know for a fact, we have not isolated the virus yet. And we have not. And you remember, we're counting numbers that are from days that the labs aren't working at full staff. You just mentioned the Saturday, Sunday numbers.
Hmm.
And why? We were doing it daily. Remember, Saturday, Sundays, the numbers were always lower, and now it's Monday, Tuesday. But
Hmm.
it hasn't changed a thing. We're not doing anything different except reporting it 2 days later. So that's not gonna. Is that done to help offset the averages so you can get to tier three? I don't know. I mean, the bottom line is this: we haven't gotten a hold of this virus. The numbers, forget about the Monday, Tuesday numbers. I get a kick every time he celebrates with Monday, Tuesday, knowing that last Monday, Tuesday was the same thing. The Monday, Tuesday before that was the same thing. The Monday, Tuesday before that was the same thing. It's it's just the way it is. That's just the way it
No,
is.
this
And
is how they do it. This is how they do it. Saturday and Sunday, the report can be released Monday, Tuesday. So on Saturday, whoever stay running the test, say, you know what? I feel good today. I'm gonna take a little bit more bottles in for a little bit more samples for test today. And then the friend in the other cubicle go, no do that.
yeah, we let go tier
Because
three.
yeah, no do that. The thing will draft the cycle. We've been doing, we've been averaging low numbers on the weekend. No do that. Sunday come along, somebody forget give the Sunday guy, the weekend worker, the memo for no do that. So brother said, oh, I feel good today. I can run about 3,000. Boom, the number skyrocket to 300. Oh boy. That's when the kukai hit the fan.
Yeah, that's when you just basically you just take your head off, you throw them on the ground, and you storm off the field because you just lost the game. That's the problem. They look at this as a game and not. You know, yesterday we broke the record again in the country as far as deaths. It's
Oh yeah.
almost 3,000 deaths in a
Yeah.
single day. And I don't know what it was today. I didn't check today, but I would
It was
bet that it's
3,000
even.
again.
Did
3,000
it
plus.
go?
Yeah.
Did it go over 3,000?
Yeah. Today.
Yeah, yesterday was
That
2976 or something. So yeah, again, we broke another record. Now, how can anyone sit back and think that we have it under control when your airports are open, when people are flying in from these areas? I don't get it. I don't understand it, it just frustrates me to no end to hear our people on the news talking about how wonderful we're doing and how great we're doing, and when it only takes that one or two. Kauai, I tell you right now, uh, and of course, Charlie, we're not at liberty to mention names or anything like that, but we know for a fact that there's a possibility of some clusters in the next day or two uh,
well
from the
before
information
before I
that we have
answer that,
received.
I'm gonna stop you right there because I am so proud of your wife, Patsy. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a creation of Patsy Raposo. I received this from Mrs. Iona today. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm going ballistic over this thing. So you don't mind if throughout the night I will be.
What is it?
I don't know. It's this mix. My wife said that she got from
Oh,
your.
it's the party mix.
Yeah.
That last night she did that last night, Charlie.
I mean, brother, I've been picking on this ever since my wife came home with this.
That
Uh,
the number one mistake is eating the first one
yeah, this is like
because
Lay's potato. Yeah, Lay's potato
yeah,
chip. You cannot just eat one.
you just and that little that cone thing.
Yeah.
Does she bakes it? Yes, she bakes it in the oven.
Oh,
After
bugles,
she
bugles.
the bugles. Oh my God. She Mel, don't you listen to Dr. Vong? Yeah, I absolutely do on a daily basis. We actually have communicated with him. We actually got a response from him to come on our show, and he said he's thinking about it. He still
Yeah.
hasn't made the commitment. The thing is this is there are many, 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 many experts out there, medical experts that have talked about it, that shared their opinions on Facebook, on YouTube, and everything else. And no, it's listen, we are preaching to the choir. We are preaching to the choir, and uh, the people that are making the decisions
Hmm.
cannot they cannot sit back and dispute the statements that are being made by these doctors and these scientists, these
They
infectious
don't care.
disease specialists. They
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 don't care.
simply have set their direction. They have made the decision that this is the way it's going to go, and they're just going to move forward regardless of what anybody says, regardless of what any expert says. Because you see, the problem, you're the governor. You're the governor and you're isolated in your little bubble. You're an engineer by trade. You have no desire because you have supposedly surrounded yourself with smart people. So you have the Department of Health. You have General Howard, you have Josh Green, and they are providing you this information that everything is all groovy. Well, if I was the governor, I think I would go get a second opinion. And you don't have to look far as the governor of the state of Hawaii to go find that second opinion because it's blowing up in your face.
No,
It's on Facebook. It's everywhere. It's on the media. It's in the newspaper. It's
this is
on.
what he's not doing, brother. He
Nah,
is not, he's not on Monday meeting. If I was a governor, man, maybe that's why I'm not. But if I was a governor, on Monday, I would come in there and I'll be flying some F bombs because I'll be saying, hey, gang, I repeat again, what's happening? Did we not find the root cause to this problem? All these advisors over here, cancer specialists, whatever, right? Don't you spend your whole entire career trying to find ways of fighting cancer? And yet you've made great strides. You found some promising strides for certain kind of cancers, but not all. Okay. How about doing the same for this COVID and the people of Hawaii? How can we educate them? Because I tell you right now, nobody is even talking about the chain of events when somebody's infected. Nobody talks about the chain of events. They don't tell you how it went from one to two, two to three, three to four, because it's taboo. Why? Oh, because it's HIPAA. Big deal. Because what has HIPAA done for us? Not saying that it's bad, but if HIPAA is preventing the spread from being flattened, you got to push HIPAA on the side for a little while so we can get the job done. That's the way I look at it. Get the job done first, then we can deal with HIPAA later. But right now, we got to get the job done, and that is to stop this damn virus. And then what's and the problem is we're gonna come back to the same thing, right? Because you said it before, I've said it before. A lot of times we just like give information. Where was it? We're not asking for names. Just give us where was it. Not even that can. I mean, we're 9 months into it, and Dr. DeRoff said it best last night. We're 9 months into it, and we're just nowhere near getting a handle on this thing.
yeah.
Nowhere
HIPAA
near.
is an excuse. I don't even know why and again, they think we're stupid, but you know what you can do. It's not like we have an opportunity to go get that information. And HIPAA is you protect the individual person. You protect the information from the sick or injured party. That's HIPAA.
Mhm.
The fact of the matter, and we've talked about this so many times. We've had, even attorneys talk about it, and that
Yep.
if it's on a map, they put it on a map. You put the zip code, you put the location, the general location. They've done it with bars, they've done it with restaurants, they've done it with bus routes. I mean, if you on the bus every day, if you ride a bus that every single day, and you're on that bus, you know the bus driver. You know the bus driver. So when you tell every the bus route 54, the 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock route, you know who it is. You can they never hide behind HIPAA for that one. What the hell is the difference? That's what pisses me off. It's they don't want to say nothing, and that causes a problem. The clusters we're talking about today, that if it should be released, then we need to know where it's coming from. We should know where it's coming from. I don't want to know the name. I don't want to know the street you live on. I don't want to know anything about you personally. But I think it's fair that we know where that infection was, or where that person was exposed, whether it was a workplace, whether it was a restaurant, whether it was a gym. It does not matter. We should know because, Charlie, you talk about this so much about the memory effect, and there's actually a medical term for that one of the doctors on here talked about, or one of, yeah, we talked about the contact tracing. There's that people forget, and so you need to let the people that were forgotten know that they may have been in a place that had an exposure. So that's not a HIPAA violation. Jesus Christ, how in the hell, if someone got infected at Costco, you got to be a pretty damn good investigator, Charlie, to go figure out who was positive. If in fact they said there was an exposure at Costco, Kauai, oh, how the hell are you gonna know who that was based on that information? But everybody that went to Costco in that period of time at least will know and make the decision for themselves. What do they do? Should they go get tested? Should they go stay home and quarantine? That's what this is all about. Preventing. See, Charlie, and this is another thing. I mean, geez, we talk about this stuff so often. This state is satisfied with reacting to the virus. They're very comfortable with reacting. Look, what is the talk about today? All about the vaccine. There was a big part of the news showing the freezer containers, the little ice boxes that they sent the things, all of that. Well, again, reacting, right? We're not trying to stop the virus from coming here. We we need 60, 70% of the population to take this virus. And I heard yesterday on the radio, on the news, that the last poll they or last survey they took in Hawaii, they're at about 46%.
before. Yeah.
About four, yeah. The one I heard was 46%. So you don't you better not be, remember what Donna Mercado Kim said, Senator Mercado Kim, hope is not a strategy. So you cannot sit back and say we hope 60 to 70% people take the vaccine. No, you need to start preparing of how we're going to isolate the virus from coming on our shores. And that's what they don't do. They're very satisfied with, hey, we get the emergency room beds, we we, we got the manpower, we can accept X amount of patients. No, that's the wrong attitude. The attitude is
Can
we don't
you
want
can
it.
you
We
can
don't
you
want it.
the past um the last attorney general from Hawaii, the very last one before the president one? Do you remember who he was?
The Chinese guy,
Yeah,
the guy that ran for lieutenant governor. What the heck was his name?
Doug Chin. Okay,
I thought it
so
was Fu
before
Manchu.
him,
Fu Manchu. No, Fu Manchu was not him. Yeah, Chin.
yeah,
Chin.
Chin, and then you go all the way back to Warren Price. I'm gonna tell you this: we've had attorney generals that went for it and say, "Hey, we won't know the truth unless we get challenged," right? And
Mhm.
that's why you go to the in today's climate. Let's talk about the presidential race. There are things happening right now that I've never seen before, but I guess they're right because they're going to take it all the way up to the courts and let the courts decide whether to hear it or throw it out, right? But you won't know that until such time you do it. This attorney general is so conservative, don't like do nothing, is scared for do anything. I said, hey, what is it going to hurt? Just try, as long as you don't violate anybody's rights or their constitutional rights, but try and do something. And then if somebody challenges, then we face it when it comes. And then that's what I'm saying. It's always like, okay, my recommendation is this. So what happens? The governor errs. I mean, it's okay to err on the side of caution, but no what on the side of caution when you on the west side of the island and you end up on the east side, you go that far back. I said, brother, you stay way out of the mix now. It's stuff like that. We will never know the truth if you don't chance it. And I'm not saying to be irresponsible, but there's a lot of things such as, oh, you cannot do this, you cannot quarantine, and you cannot test. Remember, they should tell us all of that before, right? You cannot quarantine, you cannot test, but all of a sudden you testing guys directly as soon as they come off the plane on the Big Island. You said couldn't be done. It's being done.
Mhm.
It's stuff like that. It's like, what made, did you just wake up from a coma and said, I'm going to try something new and doing it? No, it's being done.
Well, how about the furloughs, Charlie? How
Oh,
about the furloughs? See, this is a good example of how the governor can do what he wants or he feels is right,
mm-hmm.
and you exactly what you said, and go deal with the issue in court. Now, the governor last night said, "We believe I have the authority to furlough people without no worry about the collective bargaining law, no worry about anybody's rights. Just I have the power." Oh, the collective bargaining and the union side is saying, "No, you don't. You got to meet. You got to confer. You got to. There's a list of things in a collective bargaining agreement that needs to be done." Now, I'm not here to justify or defend or what. I'm just saying if they use that same philosophy for COVID and say, "Hey, I have the authority to shut down our, I have the authority to require everybody to take a test. We have the authority," and let somebody challenge us in court. But you see that for COVID, they don't have that same level of importance. They don't. Now it's real easy to throw 10,000 plus employees on furlough, right? Because it doesn't affect tourism. You're gonna get pressure from the unions, but for the most part, the support from the public, except for the unions, but the general public is not gonna go hold signs because many of the private sector employees have been laid off and lost their jobs. So politically safe to do this, but why don't you use that same pound the chest attitude on preventing COVID from coming to Hawaii? That's all I'm suggesting.
Well,
Hey, who hey, you have every right to carry a sealed bottle of water to the airport to drink water, especially if you have a medical condition. You cannot, right? You cannot even go into the airport now. You cannot even go into the airport to see a family member off because of 9/11. Pre 9/11, no one could stop you. You had the right to go into a terminal. You had the right to go see your family member off. You had a right to go eat in a restaurant with your family member before they got on a plane. 9/11 changed it. And way more people died with COVID than with 9/11. So I don't buy that crap. Oh no, we cannot. It's a violation of the right. No, man. You it's a pandemic and you adjust the rules and the laws as necessary. We did it for 9/11. We
you look
should
at
do it. We should
you
do
look
it
at
for
the whole scenario, and that is the last 4 years ago was his first term. Then he won and got his second term, so he's termed out. That's why he's doing what he's doing. Okay. Well, what's funny is this pandemic has become like a hot potato. Like the game backs no backs. I don't like be it. I said,
Mhm.
wow, designate somebody and tell them, okay, the buck stops with you. If it's horror, point at horror and tell horror, hey, you know what? If things come tumbling down, it'll be your fault, but it's on your shoulder now. Okay, fine. But you cannot be delegating different positions in charge of different things, but yet micromanaging from the side. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. And to me, that's what it seems like, a lot of micromanaging going on upstairs just by the outer appearance of it. So it's one of those things, gang. Tonight is a gripe session, as you can tell, but there's a lot of things we're trying to find out. So, when you get guests on like Dr. DeWorkin or Dr. DeRoff, and we're looking forward to another meeting with Dr. Kim from South Korea, we kind of want to see what will be applicable to the state of Hawaii. Because if our leadership is going nowhere near what needs to be done, then it will be fruitless for us to bring on any experts that will tell us otherwise, because we know they're right, but they're preaching to the choir, right? They are preaching to
Mhm.
the choir because there's not a damn thing we can do. And that's the sad thing about it all. I want to bring on somebody, make it worth their time so they know that they're contributing. And all of these doctors have so much to contribute. And it's just so sad that our state government just don't want to listen. Don't listen to one doctor. We know that. And it's whatever. Okay. But the thing is this, when it's all said and done, because, hey, you know what? We're doing good. We're doing good. But guess what? My same question is, okay, then why the hell, why the hell do we have cases still being reported if we're doing that good? Where did they come from? Was it in somebody's trunk that they just opened the trunk? They found the key to open the trunk. That's why now the thing popping up. It's it's a hard pill to swallow right now.
I was just reading, Charlie, the text that we
Yeah,
received, um,
yeah.
and
You can mention it. You can mention it.
the instruction was that you guys can mention, but please don't mention the name. But let me just read this real quick because this is how the virus works, and I'm just going to read it.
It's a chain reaction, really.
I
You
mean, this is like it's getting me kind of kind of concerned. Just to let you guys know that my wife's niece, her brother's daughter, on the mainland got tested positive. She came home and gave another four of their family members in the house, which her brother and sister gave their girlfriends and boyfriends the virus, which gave their family the virus. Also, my brother-in-law's wife then gave her parents the virus, which the parents are in their 80s, are in the hospital. All in all, from my niece-in-law, around 20 people are positive.
Yep.
You guys can mention this, but please don't mention the name, obviously. It's really sad. Maybe, okay. And then the next part is from just one person. All of this from one person. And people think Kauai only gets so much, but proof right here. So um, this 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 is how it works. This is one person,
Mm.
and this is in California. I just got the text. It's in California, but it's horrible, and that's the kinds of things I think one case can really trigger a cluster like that, and it's very hard to manage. Kalau Papa today or yesterday had their first case. Now, I find this hard to believe, but it was said on the news tonight that that is the last county in the United States of America, across the whole country. That's the last county that was virus free.
Yep.
That's kind of, yes, bizarre, man. Every single county in every single state, and there's thousands of counties, every single county has had the virus except for Kalaupapa, which is its own county, by the way. Everyone thinks that it's Maui, Kauai, Honolulu, and Hawaii County, but no, we do have Kalawao County, which is an actual county, and that was the last county. Kalaupapa was the last county in the country to be virus free. So this virus has touched every single county. It's incredible. I That's incredible. The amount of remember when it all started? There were people who thought there was gonna just be. We talk. Remember, Charlie? We talk about Iowa, and there's these farming counties in the mainland that are so far apart from each other, and no people that they would be spared, but absolutely not. Every single county.
What is the common denominator when they get infected though?
People, you know.
No, it's the chain of events is those people in those remote areas usually will make a trek into a location to pick up supplies, right? And
Oh
then they
yeah.
return them. It's that it's at that critical junction that the transfer occurs.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
what and you see, because when we, like, say, for instance, we go up here, we got Koke, you see a whole bunch of group, nobody with mask on, everybody standing together. Yeah, it's out in the open, but yet they're all exposed to each other. Unlike, it's so easy for those areas in farmlands that are miles apart, when two people cross, the virus connects. People over here, when they come and visit, or even residents, when they go up there, we're telling you to stay at a distance, wear your mask. It's not for our health. It's to tell you this damn thing gonna jump on you and you're not gonna be able to shake it. That's what we're saying. But still yet, I cannot believe after all these months, people still think, nah, that's a pile of hogwash.
Did you see that picture today? Somebody posted up on Pillbox on Oahu.
Yep.
My God. I mean, but then again, that's today. I was waiting after work. I was waiting after work to pick up Patsy. We carpool every day, and while I was waiting, this lady comes out, no mask, came out of the courthouse without a mask. Security right at the door, never had a mask. And so while we talk about individual responsibility, it also a responsibility on businesses or government agencies to make sure that you don't want mask, you're out, and you call the law enforcement officers and have them give them a ticket. We cannot afford to have these kinds of people running around without a mask. Of course, she came out, went, let her dog out of the car, no leash, walk around, pee on the light pole. I had no energy to see anything today. I was just so exhausted that I just, whatever. You know, uh, if she had come within yelling distance of me, I probably would have said something. But again, individual responsibility, but also responsibility of businesses and organizations to make sure that people are doing what they're supposed to do. And it's incredible. Yeah, protesters the other day again out in front of the mayor's office, the county building, no masks. And I don't want to even hear about this. They have every right to do that. No, they don't. They don't have a right to put my mother-in-law or your tutu or your kids in danger. No one has the right to do that. You see, when your rights infringe on my rights, then it becomes a civil rights violation on my part. It's against me. I become a victim. And that's what these people don't understand. You go out there and you want to go and go protest. You protest with your damn mask on. You don't do it just because. And that's what frustrates me. And, what bothers me is they're allowed to do it. No one's enforcing it. It's just, they just do it. And so we're telling all of us, we got to do them. We got to do them. It's the law. They begged the governor to do it a statewide mandate. He did it. And yet these people just go in and just violate.
No,
Frustrating.
you know, eh, violating is one thing, but if calling in one of your chips, right, so we can get something done to add more bite to the violation. When it happens, no lose, you know, no lose the opportunity. If it happens, it's there for you. It's there for you to make the case without having to worry about any loopholes. That's what I don't get.
Yeah.
And I've always stayed clear of, having been former commissioner, police commissioner, as well as chairman of the commission. I have always practiced to stay far away from criticizing the police department. One, they're doing a fantastic job. But two, I think right now more than ever, the heat needs to be turned up just a little bit more. Because if we're asking for compliance, right? Compliance in all facets gotta be enforced. Because all you need is one section of compliance that is not enforced. It has a trickling effect to allow other sections that should be enforced not to. And that's why they're gonna get hard time. So what are you gonna do? As the governor, you can call in more chips now. Ask the governor, hey governor, we need a little bit more oomph. No, you just gotta go and do it.
Yeah. We gotta, I mean, again, we gotta take it serious at all levels. And we cannot, I saw someone post about where are the rights for our kids to be in school? Absolutely. You heard the doctors last night talking about the importance. So we should be focusing on that. We should be focusing on keep making sure our schools are safe and clean so the kids can get back into the classroom. I agree with that. And but we seem to be more concerned about getting bars and restaurants open. And I'm not talking about Kauai. I'm talking about Honolulu and everywhere else. That the focus, the priorities are just sideways. We heard Mr. Zena on our show the other night, the complex superintendent for Kauai. They're doing what they can. They're trying to do their best to get the kids back in the classroom. There are limitations, right? There's space limitations. There's other kinds of things. But you know, the, the stadium would make an awesome. Can you imagine if you lined Vidina Stadium with classroom tents, open ventilation, wide open ventilation? You could have your social distancing of 10 feet apart. Those GP medium tents that the military has, you could line that along the field. You could have probably 50 classrooms maybe along that in that field. You could do the same thing at Hanapepe Stadium. You could do the same thing at Kapaa Stadium. There is no movement in that area by the Department of Health. I mean, Department of Education at the state level to look at options to get our kids back in a classroom or in a makeshift classroom because we don't have the space to provide social distancing with the number of kids we have to the number of classrooms we have. So improvise, improvise. Uh, Set it up. I don't think a kid would have a problem going to school in a tent at the stadium with the fresh air, the breeze coming through. I think it would be cool. And you could have it can be done. Trust me, it can be done. But again, it's all about the priorities, right? It's about where are we setting as state leaders? Where are we setting our priorities in this whole pandemic crisis planning? It's what is it? It's all about the tourists. It's all about the visit industry. It's all about everything else. Well, we want our kids to get back to normal as soon as possible because they are suffering and they're struggling. And I think that's one heck of an option that we should pursue. Now, you cannot tell me that in 9 months the Department of Education and all those six-figure earners haven't figured something out. Yeah, it's no, and it needs to be done. You could really have, there's a lot of substitute teachers. There's a lot of people that can substitute teach. We have to mobilize and get them out there and teach. And that's where the money should be spent. And we'll just see. But again, hope is not a strategy. All of our leaders are putting all their hope in a vaccine that will still take time to distribute, will still take time for herd immunity. So we're going to be with this for a long time. And I just don't see any movement in that way. Yeah, we clean, we disinfect schools, but we're still going to have a physical limitation in many schoolhouses because we just don't have the space. We got to start looking at some other options, or be satisfied with what we have. And I think every day that we keep our kids out of school is causing more harm than good. More harm than good.
Well, I think the best way to look at it is setting up a grade and telling yourself, is schools part of your infrastructure or not? Anything that's part of the infrastructure, you pay attention to that right now. Okay? So schools is one of it. You deal with it right now. Our tourism industry is not part of the infrastructure. And you gotta get real close, tight with the infrastructure. I'll give you a good example on Maui. That's how Linda Lingo was. Before she let any hotels build, they used to say, we used to hear this all the time, and I was never into that politics up there. But I remember that, them saying, before I can let anything be built on South Kihei Road, we gotta get sewage and everything in place first. We gotta get the roads in first. No go build on condo, allowing more people to come in, more cars on the road, and the road's not wide enough. That's why they built a second highway. So they will have multiple routes to get out of there. And thank God, I remember one of my last years working there when they had the big fires out by Maui Meadows, that area. I mean, some areas were just completely closed off by those raging fires, and where do you go? It's I remember firemen coming up there, going into people's backyards, their swimming pools,
Mhm.
and throwing one of those submersible pumps in there for use water to shoot fires from there, using people's water from their swimming pool. It's unbelievable. So I think everything is we got to look at our infrastructure first. You talk about the schools, yes, but the more and more I think about it, I'm just wondering how much is the Board of Education, not so much the DOE, but the Board of Education, the one above Kishimoto, right? How aggressively are they pushing her to say, hey, start taking a look at your schools, see what the heck you can do. Now, as Corey Rosenlee said, the governor wants to do a furlough now, taking some of the teachers out of commission. Some areas get blended learning. It's going to be so uncertain when you have to take 2 days a month. So that means you take, it would be really sad. I guess you could stagger it, but still yet you're going to have some classes that can be down. And then you got some schools that are going to say, you know what, all your teachers, everybody take Monday and Fridays off. So that means you get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. Whew. Gonna be tough. Going to be
I don't
tough.
know how. I mean, they did it. Remember when they had the last furlough Fridays? It was rough, and that's when we didn't have COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what Corey was trying to say. We had that short memory, that in fact we don't remember what happened the last time. It's not good for the kids, and it's even going to make it worse.
Yeah.
So there's certain places that so we're going to exempt police, we're going to exempt fire, we're going to exempt police is county anyway, so it doesn't matter. So fire, we're going to exempt EMS, we're going to exempt all of those first responders, but not the teachers. That sends, to me anyway, sends a horrible message to the teachers and your value that you place in our teachers, which play a vital role in our society. So, again, it's just being reactive. It's knee-jerk reactions. It's guys, you go look through your budget and you go figure out what services or positions you can cut that is not vital. The way he said, oh, we're going to do furloughs because we don't want to lay off anybody. Well, listen, you furlough the non-essential service employees. You allow the essential service employees, such as teachers, to go to work. And unfortunately, the people low on a totem pole that provide non-essential services, you lay them off, and they go apply for unemployment, just like the private sector does. Why is that so hard to understand? Why is that so bad for government employees, but not for private? You shut things down on the private side with absolutely no second thought. Oh yeah, we realize that it's going to hurt. Now listen, I don't want to see anybody get laid off, but you cannot you cannot affect our education of our kids uh, by furloughing teachers because you don't like lay off anybody. I mean, we have unemployment for them. We, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's two sets of rules for different sets of people. The private sector get one set of rules, and the private and the public sector, the government sector got another set. We're all human beings, people. We're all human beings, and I guess when you basically showing your cards and you're not putting as much value in the education of our kids when you even think of something like that. So that's just how I see it. And the union gonna do what the union gonna do. That's their job. Their job is to stop these things from happening. And there's a process for that. But at the end of the day, essential workers work, non-essential workers don't. That's the ones you furlough. That's the ones you lay off. And that's the ones that unfortunately, like the private sector, will have to go and participate in unemployment. Maybe that would get the state off their ass to go fix the unemployment system. You know, maybe 9 months and they still can't get it right. Something is definitely wrong. Something is definitely wrong. Huh, serious. 9 months, man. Charlie.
Brother, I'm with you. I'm listening to you, and I say, whacking this thing, and I'm just a happy camper. Sweet goodness always makes my night. I'm just happy. I'm just happy eating eating this party mix. I tell you one thing though, the union gonna really have to reevaluate and going ask themselves, damn it, last election we all went all out for support him, all sign for him, do whatever. And that bugger took a back turn on us. What the heck? I said, well, yeah.
Oh, Ige.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not running. He
Yeah.
bound
No,
term out. So
no, but they figured they was going with the winning horse, right? Back when he was eligible to. And they went gung ho, not figuring that he would do something like this. That's why when you support somebody, you make sure you ask them and you make sure you work them hard to get their true colors through the good and the bad. Then you decide whether you vote for them or not. Just not go with them because at that time, yeah, they call it the honeymoon phase. And that thing gets old real fast. The thing gets old real fast. And that's what that's what would happen.
that's the game. That's the game, Charlie. And I can tell you, I lived it. I lived it for a very long time of my life, and I can tell you, sitting in an endorsement interview and being grilled by members, bringing out clips of what you had said in the prior year. Uh, you know, then when unions endorse someone, they got to understand that that's not that endorsement is that you basically support the philosophy of the candidate. It's not a license to control the candidate, but that's what it becomes, right? That's what it becomes. So while I had been endorsed by many unions over the years, uh, yeah, one year I said at a council meeting, I said, we as a county's got to negotiate better. We need to negotiate better and making sure that our taxpayers are being protected. We cannot continue on this trend of these raises every single year that's going to bankrupt the county. Without increasing revenue and increasing expenses, you force your county to pay to charge higher taxes. So yes, during the budget session, during the tax rates, I talked a lot about it. Now, that's the fact. That's not. I didn't do that to bash the union, but boy, when I went in for my union interview, they had the recordings, they had the transcripts, and they asked me like I was in court. Did you read? Did you say this? Yeah, I did. Does that sound like it's supportive of the union? No, probably not. But it sounds of supporting the taxpayer and that making sure that we spend our taxpayers'
You
monies
know that,
wisely.
brother, you know what I would have done right there? I would have just stood up and said, you know what? I don't need your endorsement because I cannot be bought. I'm
I
out of here.
came very close to doing that, Charlie, but I wanted to take the high road and but I was so angry because a lot of those people were my friends and I thought that they knew me enough that that's just the truth. We cannot continue on this path. I didn't get the endorsement, obviously, and that was fine. And I remember this last election that I didn't run in. I had been approached by several unions that had not endorsed me the last time, and they asked me, "Bro, you're not running?" I said, "No, I'm not running." We need you back on our council. These came from more than one union. I said, "Well, listen, if I decide to run again, I will not be accepting any endorsements from any of the unions. I don't want to be I don't want it. I just run on my reputation, my character, my integrity, and that's it. And if I ever run again, I will not take a union endorsement. If I just won't. You know what? Then again, the union endorsement is of the philosophy of the the general philosophy. But when you get specific issues, the elected official got to do what's right for
People.
the constituents that they serve, not the special interests. I'm sorry, that's just the way it works. So
Mhm.
pretty cool. So I'll probably I'll never get another endorsement anyway, especially after tonight's Facebook Live. But it is what it is, man. I mean, we now is not the time to be you know messing around. And likewise, I think not to defend the union, but the union is right. The fact that we are going to affect the teaching capacity for our kids during this pandemic is not the right way to go. It's not the right way to go.
Well, let's look at one subject that's hot on everybody's heels, and this is the vaccine. I spoke with someone today, and the conversation, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a I heard the term used volcanologist, but I was thinking of Dr. Spock. So I said, where the hell did that come into my head? But what was said is, because I asked a question, and I'm going to ask this of Dr. Kim. I want to know why is the top two front runners in the vaccine world right now. What's the involvement with this sub-zero temperatures that it needs to be frozen or kept at? And the person I talked to today said, well, the Pfizer and the Moderna both utilizes the mRNA, uh, whatever they call it, and the AstraZeneca doesn't, and so that's why it can be held at room temperature. So the only thing that there's a drawback on the AstraZeneca, should it go for its EUA, is the efficacy because of the it's so low, it's about 80%, yeah, while Pfizer and Moderna is in a 90%, 90 and above. So, I think if we're looking at getting 60%, 60 to 70% of the population worldwide, so you can get that herd immunity, you're going to need other companies jumping into the ball game, because I don't think there'll be enough just with these three companies. There's not going to be enough. There's no way. And here's another thing. You notice the timing, right? We've been on this pandemic for 9 months, and it took just about 10 months to come up with a vaccine. Is that the norm? Some people say the running time on getting on vaccine is much longer, and this one was on a fast track. So I'm just kind of curious. I said, boy, to get a vaccine when it first hit our shores of the United States, was it already then we were thinking of a vaccine, or they just said, well, let's meet at a bar and let's just work up a vaccine. We'll start in August. Do you know when they started to concoct this idea for the vaccine?
Probably no. I'm thinking February, March. It's been a while. I mean, I think that they started. See, they didn't know enough of the virus, though. They really didn't know enough of the virus
Mhm.
back in the day. I don't know when they really ramped it up, but Dr. Kim will be able to answer that. One of Chucky asked a good question. My question for the vaccine is, if you get the vaccine, will you still be able to spread the virus? Obviously, if the vaccine works, no. And that's what we won't know until we start, you know, giving people the vaccine. I heard the lieutenant governor on the news this morning. They were asking about, if you take a vaccine. He said if you take the vaccine, you're immune. We don't have to worry about you. You fly in, you take the vaccine, you're immune. Well, I wouldn't rush to that judgment right now. I think it's going to take some time, the sample sizes, obviously we're done in the testing phase, but I still think we got a lot of, this is not the silver bullet, man. I mean, the vaccine is part of it. We still got to make sure we uh, do all the other things too, you know. And
They,
that's
they
what I'm
also
interested.
they're also talking about the dosing loads from the first application to the second. That the first might be half, and the second follow-up, the booster shot, might be the full.
Yeah,
Because I guess they don't want to give too much one time because it kind of cancels each other out. I mean, that's the way it sounded. So it's just so confusing, but it's interesting. It's interesting, and but again, if Charlie Yona starts getting on this, and I will start talking bubbles after a while, it's just because.
well, Charlie, remember in the forest we had to take the hepatitis shot, right? It was a
Yeah,
series of 3 shots, right? There was 3 shots.
yeah,
And after I took my first shot, I was allergic. I had major reactions. I never got the second. I never got the third. So I'm not sure how many people, when they're talking about 60 or 70% of the population, I don't know if they have a, like that range of, or that number of people that may not accept this vaccine. How many of them going to
I
be?
think they said that the reason why they're shooting for 60 because they said about 40% will be
Oh, okay,
possibly could reject the shot
got it.
itself.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah. So that people got to understand, and again, we'll hear from Dr. Kim, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Kim, Dr. Jerome Kim, the Director General of the International Vaccine Institute in South Korea, is our guest on the 15th of this month and it's going to be at
for
4 o'clock Hawaii time, 4 o'clock, and that's the only time we could get him for an hour. So we'll do it at 4, and obviously everyone will be free to watch it whenever they want to. I'll post it up to YouTube, but there's a lot of questions to ask him, and I think it'll be a jam-packed hour. So if you have questions, you go ahead and send it to us. We'll send it to him so he can answer your specific questions. Not the ridiculous kind of questions, just questions that if you have a burning question about the vaccine, about what are the pros, the cons, whatever it may be, we'll have him explain all of that. But he's the guy. I mean, he's probably one of the most knowledgeable people in the world as it relates to vaccines in general. So it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting.
mhm. Well, my whole approach to it is I just would like to know, um, are pretty much all the vaccines the same? I mean, they try to accomplish their goal, right, of increasing your antibodies, right? So
Mhm.
your system can um, your system can fight, or increasing your whatever they call it in your body. You have the thing can fight off this virus. But again, there's got to be a reason that the storage methodology to this whole thing. Why one has to be a minus 100, the other one just has to be frozen, but has a longer shelf life than the first one. And the third one is at room temperature that can unlimited shelf life. So, when you're looking at stuff like that, I said, okay, is it, you know, once more is thick like molasses, while the other one is just, it's so liquidy that it's like water. And I don't know, but yet I'm just curious to find out. And the other thing would be is, what's the duration once you get these shots? Because like you said, in the force, we had to take the 3-step protocol for hepatitis, right?
Mhm.
And after the first one, you're supposed to be good to go, pretty much. And I've already taken it 3 times. And the last time I took it, they said, hey, you don't can take no more. You're building up too much already. I said, oh, is it possible? They go, yeah, it's possible. Because I took them in a department, I took them in a medical examiner's office, and I took them one more time right after and that's the reason why when they did the blood work on me during my open heart surgery, they said I had hepatitis. And I said, no, I don't. I was vaccinated, but I don't have hepatitis. And sure enough, and all they did was cause me to go almost into another heart attack when they told me I had hepatitis. Damn buggers. I said,
Yeah,
read your damn blood work good. You know what the hell
yeah.
you do. No
I
come
took
with
so
bad.
many. I took so many shots in the military, just hepatitis was the only one that I had problems with, and the doctor said no more, don't take it, it's not for you. But all the other stuff, typhoid, yellow fever, I can't remember all I took. I know I took a lot. Um, Probably a lot of them was experimental too, but uh, I didn't realize that when you sign up for boot camp back in the day. When you raise your right hand and say I do, in the fine print was that you would subject yourself to vaccination testing, and that was pretty bizarre. But anyway, I'm okay, I think. Anyway, Charlie, we're coming up close to the hour. I did want to thank Kiala for sending us that care package, Kiala Wolf.
Oh,
It came in a big box on the doorstep, and it was heavy, and opened them up, and it was from New York. It was from the I forget what the heck it was. Jazz Delicatessen, Kaz Delicatessen, and in there was
so what? It's cats, right? Katz. Yeah.
cats. Yeah, sorry, cats Delicatessen.
That's the home of the what they call that
It was I don't
the,
know, but it
the
was.
sandwich. Yeah.
But there's two sets of everything, Charlie. So you'll get yours tomorrow. But there's had two loaves of bread, had two pastrami, two roast beef, two sets of cheeses, two sets of mustard, two sets of uh, sauerkraut, two sets of sour pickles, two bottles of not so sour. It's
Was there
delicious.
pumpernickel bread in there?
I think it was a pumper dime.
I was gonna tell you that's they only can give you pumpernickel because a pupper dime will not fit in the box.
Yeah, well, this box was built. You could put the damn COVID vaccine in this box. It was built with walls that was. You pull them out, everything was still frozen. Came all the way from New York. So, Kayla, thank you very much. That was solid, man. I mean, Patsy, bro, she made me one
What about
pastrami.
kosher pickles? Was there kosher pickles in there? Gotta be. If you can get
You know,
pastrami sandwich,
it
corned
was
beef
it
sandwich.
was it was it was about that long and about that fat, and it was delicious, delicious. Um, and yeah, so Patsy had grilled the bread. She'd baked the pastrami with the
You
cheese and the
you put the
Charlie.
grey poupon on top. The grey
Great,
mustard.
yes, yes, the Grey Poupon. Grey Poupon. That
Mm.
was like right out of the restaurant. That was oh, I'm sorry, was looks like she said I'm sorry, pastrami and corned beef. Corned beef.
Yeah.
Well, I had the pastrami for dinner. I'm gonna have the corned beef for dessert. Whew. So
Man.
Charlie, you get yours tomorrow. It's nicely
Everything is kosher because there was one similar to cats in Miami, Florida, and I used to go there for the pastrami sandwiches every day, where they put them on the rye bread, and all
ah
you do is you just put a little bit, and every table get that salted kosher pickle in the middle of the table wherever you sit.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
go there, you stab them, and man, you crunch away. Woo, woo, woo,
Well,
woo.
today is the start of Hanukkah, so that is part of the celebration. And I just again, I want to thank y'all. I want to thank all of you guys. You guys have been solid for us. Tomorrow night is Feel Good Friday. We got some business people
Oh,
coming on tomorrow. Oh, but
Uncle Manny said, yeah. Uncle's Kitchen, Manny Cabral, he gonna be on from 7:20 to
okay,
7:40, and then you got Kiala coming
Kiala
on,
going to take us home. She's going to take us home
and
from seven.
Verdi gonna be on the front end.
Yeah, so we got Verde Restaurant going to be on at 7. Then we got Manny, and then we got Kiala from, and it's going to be a power pack. We're going to rather than put them all together, we're going to give everybody their own time so we can have some good fun again. I really had a blast last week, and
Yep.
yeah, really looking forward to. Oh, by the way, you know what? I just remembered. I forgot to announce, and you guys might be too late. Might be too late. Um,
I will before you. Okay, go ahead.
go ahead. No, no. Let me just say this
Kiala.
briefly.
Yeah.
Uh, Cody from the Blue Adventures Zodiac has 4 seats available at 75 bucks. So go to hashtag, I'm not hashtag, Instagram at Go Blue Adventures, at Go Blue Adventures. I'm not sure if he still has it, but you know, give it a shot. 75 bucks. He got 4 seats available. So
And it's
get
it's
him.
it's not often that I will praise this person, but when Kiala comes on, she's a proud graduate of Punahou High School, a very well respected school, even though it's a rival with us guys at Kamehameha. I will basically look up to her and say, right on, Punahou grad. Yep.
So if you know of any businesses or if you have a small business and you want to do a little highlight showcase or whatever, let us know and we'll plug you guys in. We want to do this every single Friday and just have some fun. And so please let us know. Please let us know.
I'm going
Any
to
closing
invite,
thoughts?
yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead,
going to
Charlie.
go in a brand new company they open up. A good friend of mine, David Barton. He has a commercial drone service here on Kauai, and he's been doing a lot of commercial work. So that means that he had to go get his licenses, I guess, from the FAA or whoever, and he has to fly in accordance with that. So he's starting out, but he's doing some good work. I kind of want to bring him on and showcase him maybe next week Friday to let the people see what he can do for your business, whether it be surveying property that you have from the sky. He does a lot of good calendar work, like setting the drone up at sunset and sunrise, beautiful shots over the west, and he's located on Kauai. So I want to kind of showcase him as well. My closing thoughts is this, Mel. Tonight, normally when there's only you and I, we kind of think, okay, what we're going to talk about. But I gotta say, I'm very proud of you. We're very target specific tonight. We're looking at, what can be done. And folks, if it sounds like we're struggling, the fact of the matter is we are, because we're very, very frustrated. And I know if we're frustrated, you must be frustrated too. I kind of want to take a real light spin on it and says, hey, it is what it is. But that's my way of not using the full letter word. Okay, so that's why I say what I say to kind of like calm myself down, because I get very frustrated to think that a lot of stuff that we talk about, and I've seen these comments over and over again, Uncle Charlie, you're using too much common sense. That's how I was brought up. I was brought up in Kali, and you learn to survive by just using common sense. Try to be extravagant. Try to outthink other people. You just use common sense and just be nice to your neighbors. And everything the state is doing, I have to believe they have good intentions, but so far it's still falling way short of the mark. So if you see Mel and I, we get a little frustrated. It's because we're asking ourselves, if we, along with many others, can see just small things that can make a difference, then why isn't our governor even trying to go that route? And again, try it. If it doesn't work, you abort and we move on. But we haven't even gotten to first base yet. We haven't even gotten to first base yet, folks. And so that's why, with everything that's happening, I can only hope and pray everyone stay connected, malama each other, don't let nobody fall through the cracks. Before things can get better, it's going to get a lot worse. So let's hope and pray we can weather the storm together, because if we all pull together, the load going to be much lighter. I guarantee you. Because many of us, especially Mel and I, we've been down that route before. That if you don't have enough people helping to pull that load, it's a tough journey. But as long as we all can stick together and help each other out, that load will be much lighter. Okay.
Roger Dodger. Yeah, it's so true. I mean, that's now is the time we all got to come together. Now is the time we got to respect each other. Respecting each other means wearing your mask, means washing your hands, means not going to gatherings. That's what respecting each other does, and that's what we got to do. Now is the time. I mean, we cannot mess around with this thing. You just reminded me, Charlie. She was talking about that we should be trying stuff. It's like I love football. If any of you know me, you know that I love football. I mean, if I took this camera right now and you see football cards all over this place, I get football helmets. I get all kinds of stuff here. But I played football when I was younger, and I coached football when I was older. And you ever watched a game or was part of a team, a football team, that the run or the pass wasn't working, but you had a coach that wanted to be a passing team. They wanted to copy a high flying, exciting passing offense. You just didn't have the personnel to do it. But they still did it. And they lost the game because they refused to try to run game because they just wanted to pass the ball. That's kind of how I feel now. I kind of feel like we made a decision. The leaders made a decision early in this thing. And now the pride, they get too much pride to say, maybe we did it wrong. And they're afraid to try a new way because it's going to expose them for their bad decisions early on. I honestly believe that they would get more respect from the people if they came out and said, hey, we're going to try something different. We're going to go a different direction. We're going to try and stop this thing before it gets here. I think people can respect that and appreciate that. But that's kind of how I feel right now. It's like, coach, it ain't working, coach. Let's try to go run the ball. No, we cannot run the ball. I told everybody we're going to pass. I know, but it's not working. Let's run. No, we're going to end this game passing the ball. Win or lose. And that's kind of how I feel right now. And it's a horrible strategy. And that needs to change really, really quick. So anyway, Charles, thank you for letting me vent again. Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for joining us. People, all of you, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. It'll be fun. And let's go support some local businesses. Guys, we stopped taking pictures of our local food. We stopped taking pictures of our local plate lunches. So don't stop. Tomorrow, go buy a plate lunch from a local restaurant or a food truck. Take a picture and post them up so we can share the heck out of it. All right? All right, guys. You guys take it easy. You guys have a good evening. Take care. God bless. We love you guys. Aloha.